The average person says yes to nearly everything asked of them. Every meeting, every request, every favor, every opportunity. And by saying yes to everything, they end up achieving almost nothing that actually matters. That is not an opinion. That is the quiet epidemic destroying modern productivity, and most people do not even realize it is happening to them. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to discover what Greg McKeown calls the philosophy that changes everything. We will walk through the core ideas of essentialism, why doing less is actually the most powerful strategy available to you, and the one counterintuitive insight that stops most high achievers dead in their tracks the first time they hear it. Stay with us, because this one genuinely reframes how you see every decision you make. Greg McKeown spent years studying why brilliant, talented, hard-working people consistently underperform. He interviewed executives at some of the world's most successful companies. He studied leaders across industries. And what he found was not what anyone expected. The highest performers were not doing more. They were doing dramatically less. But they were doing the right things with an almost obsessive focus that their peers simply could not match. McKeown published Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less in 2014, and it immediately resonated with readers who felt overwhelmed, stretched thin, and chronically busy without feeling productive. The book became a global bestseller because it gave language to something millions of people already felt but could not articulate. The foundation of essentialism rests on one deceptively simple idea. Only a few things truly matter. Not dozens of things. Not even 10 things. A handful. And your job, your real job, is to ruthlessly identify those things and eliminate everything else with zero apology and zero guilt. McKeown calls this the disciplined pursuit of less. Notice the word disciplined. Because this is not laziness. It is not disengagement. It requires enormous courage and clarity to say no to good opportunities in order to preserve space for the great ones. Here is something most productivity books will never tell you. Saying yes to something always means saying no to something else. Always. Every single time. When you say yes to a meeting that does not matter, you are saying no to focused deep work. When you say yes to a project that does not align with your priorities, you are saying no to the project that does. Most people never make this trade-off consciously. They just drift from yes to yes, spreading themselves thinner and thinner, wondering why they feel exhausted but not accomplished. McKeown introduces a concept he calls the paradox of success. Here is how it works. A person has clarity of purpose, focuses on the essential, and achieves success. That success creates more options, more requests, more opportunities. And suddenly, that person starts doing more things. Their focus diffuses. Their results plateau. Success actually creates the conditions that lead to the loss of the very focus that caused the success in the first place. This cycle plays out in companies, careers, and personal lives constantly. The antidote is not to stop succeeding. It is to continuously recommit to what is essential, even as external pressures multiply. But here is what nobody talks about. The biggest barrier to essentialism is not laziness or poor time management. It is the fear of missing out combined with social pressure. When someone asks you to help with something, the discomfort of saying no feels immediate and real. The benefit of protecting your time feels abstract and distant. Our brains are wired to avoid immediate social discomfort. So we say yes, and we tell ourselves we will manage. We always tell ourselves we will manage. And we almost never do, not at the level we are actually capable of. McKeown offers a powerful framework for identifying what is truly essential. He calls it the 90% rule. When you are evaluating any opportunity, commitment, or request, ask yourself this question. On a scale of 1 to 100, how important is this? If your honest answer is anything below 90, the answer is no. Not maybe. Not later. No. This sounds extreme until you try it and realize how many of your current commitments would score a 60 or 70. Comfortable enough to accept, but not truly aligned with what you care most about. The 90% rule creates clarity by forcing you to stop settling for pretty good when extraordinary is possible. Another core tool McKeown provides is what he calls the essential intent. Most organizations and individuals operate with vague mission statements or broad goals. Be more productive. Grow the business. Get healthy. These sound meaningful, but they do not tell you what to do on Tuesday morning. An essential intent is different. It is both inspirational and concrete. It is specific enough that you could look at any decision and immediately know whether it serves your essential intent or not. McEwen gives the example of Florence Nightingale, who did not simply decide to be a good nurse. She decided to eliminate preventable death in British military hospitals. That specificity changed everything about how she acted, what she focused on, and what she refused to do. Every 90 seconds or so in your day, you are making micro decisions about where your attention goes. Most of those decisions happen automatically, driven by habit, social cues, and the path of least resistance. The essentialist interrupts that automatic pilot and asks, "Is this the most important use of my time right now?" Not a good use. The most important use. That single question, asked consistently, shifts your entire trajectory over weeks and months in ways that feel almost invisible at first and then absolutely dramatic over time. McEwen also addresses something that trips up nearly every person who tries to implement these ideas. The non-essential does not announce itself. Nobody sends you a meeting invitation that says, "This will waste 90 minutes of your life and produce nothing of value." Bad commitments dress up in the language of opportunity, urgency, and teamwork. So the essentialist must develop what McEwen calls discernment, the trained ability to pause, evaluate, and consciously choose rather than react. This is a skill. It is built through deliberate practice. And it begins with creating space to think, which is itself a radical act in a culture that rewards busyness as a status symbol. The concept of trade-offs runs through the entire book like a thread. McEwen argues that trade-offs are not a problem to be solved. They are a reality to be managed. When you pretend trade-offs do not exist, when you try to do everything and have everything and commit to everything, you are not escaping the trade-off. You are simply making it unconsciously and accepting worse outcomes across the board. The essentialist acknowledges the trade-off explicitly and then chooses. What can I do best? What matters most? What would I regret not doing 5 years from now? These questions cut through the noise in a way that to-do lists never can. One of the most quietly radical ideas in this book is the concept of protecting the asset. The asset is you. Your mind. Your energy. Your attention. McEwen points out that we would never run a machine at full capacity every single day without maintenance, without rest, without recalibration. And yet we expect exactly that from ourselves. Sleep, white space in the calendar, time for reflection, these are not luxuries in the essentialist framework. They are non-negotiable maintenance for the most important resource you have. Cutting them to do more is the equivalent of removing the engine to make the car lighter. The real-world implication of essentialism is this. You do not need more time. You do not need more tools. You do not need a better system for managing everything on your plate. You need fewer things on your plate. You need to make the deliberate, courageous choice to focus on what only you can do and what matters most. And let go of the rest without guilt, without apology, and without looking back. This is not a productivity hack. It is a philosophy of life. And it is one that the most effective, fulfilled, and impactful people on the planet have quietly been living for decades. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Book Notes Daily for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.